What's My Line? Brought to you by Pledge, for wax beauty instantly as you dust. And now let's all play What's My Line? And now let's meet our What's My Line panel. First, the delightful star of stage, screen, and television, Miss Arlene Francis.
Thank you. And now a talented gentleman who, with his beautiful wife, has been causing cash registers to ring all over St. Louis, will be repeating it by doing The Bells Are Ringing at the Carousel Theater in Los Angeles, Mr. Alan Ludden.
Thank you, Doctor.
Now, I'd like you to meet a young lady who makes my bells ring, on stage, on television, and at home, Betty White.
Thank you very much. And here's a fellow who makes my bells ring, along with this one, because he's my favorite punster. And I get in trouble for making puns at home, but I always know that I have a good ear with Doctor of Laws, Bennett, Cerf.
Well, our panel moderator tonight is full of vim and vigor, but to show you how exhausted he has been from all these August extracurricular activities of his, I understand he dropped into one of those Playboy clubs for a snack the other night and asked for a waiter. But here he is now, back to his old form, John Charles Davis.
Anybody mention eggs? Huh? Nobody mentioned eggs. Well, Mr. and Mrs. Ludden, it's nice to see you there together.
Thank you, John.
Betty White and Alan, and hope you have some fun in the next half hour. We've got some very interesting occupations to take care of the next half hour, and we trust take care of you, too. We'll also have a famous mystery guest before the panel a little bit later in the program, but right now let's meet our first contestant. Will you enter and sign in, please? Ray Barnett. Right, sir? Well, Mr. Barnett, where are you from?
Roslyn Heights, New York.
Roslyn Heights, New York.
Mhm.
That would be Long Island?
Long Island.
Good. I got something right for a change. Nice to have you with us, Mr. Barnett. May I present the panel? Now, will you join me over here, sir? And we'll let the audience in the theater and the audience at home know exactly what your line is. All right, panel, we can tell you that Mr. Barnett is salaried and deals in a product. And we'll begin things with Arlene Francis.
Well, Mr. Barnett, the audience was amused by your product. Would I be?
I don't think so.
All right.
That's one down and 9 to go, Mr. Ludden.
Well, would your product be found in the home?
Yes?
Would it be the kind of product that I would use as readily as my wife?
It's highly unlikely.
2 down and 8 to go, Betty.
Mr. Barnett, you don't know my husband.
Thank heavens for the nuptial estate, that's all.
It's something, then, that I would be apt to use.
Yes.
You don't know my wife.
Would it be, found in one particular room in the house, as opposed to generally in the house?
Not necessarily.
Well, with Mr. Barnett's permission, I will agree that in normal circumstances, we would expect to find it in one area of the house, not necessarily to the exclusion of the rest of the house, but its normal locus would, I think, be in one area, yes.
And from the left, am I safe in assuming that area would be more apt to be the bedroom wing of the house than the kitchen?
More apt to be, yes.
More apt to be. You wouldn't leave this lying around in the kitchen, things like that, whatever they
Well, it's been done.
It's been done, but you probably wouldn't.
Would it improve my appearance in any way?
Oh, very definitely.
Would it, is it an appliance that I could hold in my hand? Is it an object I could hold in my hand?
Yes.
Is it electrical?
No.
That's 3 down and
Sorry
7 to go,
about
Mr.
that.
Cerf.
Mr. Barnett, is this a product that Betty or Arlene could wear?
No.
That's 4 down and 6 to go, Miss Francis.
But is it a product that, in order to use it, one would hold it in one's hand,
Yes.
even though one doesn't wear it? Is it ever applied to the person in any way?
Yes.
Is it something one would buy in a drugstore?
Yes.
Is it a beauty preparation of any kind?
Yes.
In a very general context, yes.
You said that Betty would not look better if she used it,
Oh, no,
meaning
we-
she's
no.
perfect
Would.
already.
I
No,
said she
would.
would.
I like
Would.
Oh, you said she would.
Yeah.
Would it be found in the makeup department of a drugstore?
Yes.
Is it therefore called a cosmetic?
No.
No. 5 down and 5 to go, Mr. Ludden.
When you apply it, you apply it with your hand. Do you have... It's not a cosmetic.
No.
Do you have to... Do you use something else to put it on? I mean, it doesn't go on by itself. In other words, there are... Now, I know what I mean. It's just,
Answer word.
I
Answer
know.
word.
It's just that he doesn't know what I mean. Well, in other words, do you need an adhesive to put it on?
No.
No. 6
That's
down.
what I meant.
And 4 to go, Miss White.
From the laugh in the audience when you came in and announced your product, it must have a funny connotation of some sort. If I applied this to myself, and in the process of applying, if somebody were to see me, would I look strange?
Oh, no.
No?
It has no funny connotation.
Don't offer any help. Let's
Then
shut
it's
down
not
and 3 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Now, Mr. Barnett, you definitely said the lady does not wear this,
No, she does not.
but it's applied in one way or another. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Is it applied above the waist?
Yes.
Is it applied above the neck?
Yes.
Is it applied above the hairline?
No.
Ah.
8 down and 2 to go, Arlene.
Well, the face is left, isn't it?
Yeah, it's there.
Is it applied in the area of the face?
Yes.
Now, since it's not a cosmetic, I don't know what you consider cosmetics. Does it have a creamy or oily base of any kind?
No.
Nope. 9 down and 1 to go, Mr. Ludden.
Does it have any color?
No.
No.
10 down and no more to go.
Yes, I.
Lipstick.
Eyelash curler.
Eyelash curler, right. And, Alan, you can take this up with your wife when you get home
I
tonight.
don't have to speak to her.
I've always thought you had long curly eyelashes and never knew how
They're
it happened.
natural. They're just natural, that's all.
Mr. Barnett is vice president in charge of merchandising for Curlash Company. And what surprised me is this has been in existence, your product, for
47 years.
47 years. You know, I don't know why you men, I guess, never do get any sense of time in these things, but I always
John,
thought it is
girls
rather
had
recent.
eyelashes 47 years ago.
Beg pardon?
I said girls had eyelashes 47 years ago. Don't you remember?
They did? Really? Golly day. Well, I must say this. We puzzled the panel, and that is a fine achievement, and I thank you, Mr. Barnett. Thanks for coming to see us. Nice to have you with us. Golly, they had them 47 years ago. That's enough to curl your hair, isn't it? We'll have another contestant for you in just a moment after this word. And now to meet another contestant. Will you enter and sign in, please? Louise Tesma, right? All righty, is it Miss or Mrs. Tesma?
Miss
Miss Tesma, where are you from?
Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Nice to have you with us, Miss Tesma. Got a lot of moral support. And may I present the panel? Now, if you come over here, please, we'll let the audience in the theater and the audience at home know exactly what your line is. All right. Panel, we can tell you that Miss Tesma is salaried and deals in a service, and we'll begin everything with Bennett Cerf.
Well, Miss Chestnut, when you hear the word Milwaukee, you think of Schlitz, Blatt, Pabst. Has your service got anything whatever to do with food or drink?
No.
1 down and 9 to go. Arlene.
Miss Tesma, do you work indoors?
Yes.
Would I come to you for your service?
Occasionally, perhaps.
If you were wont to avail yourself of it, yes, you'd go to her.
Do you work for a non-profit-making organization?
Yes.
Yes. Do you work for any branch of a government?
Yes.
Ours, preferably. Is there anything in your... Do you wear a uniform of any kind in your job?
No.
Let me have just a small conference. That's good. 2 down and 8 to go. Mr. Ludden.
Well, John has suggested that she might not want to avail herself of your services. Are your services the kind that I might not want to avail myself? In other words, are your services regulatory in any sense?
Regulatory?
Yes, regular. That's a good question, isn't it, John?
Yeah, that's a good question. We may not be able to answer it, but it's a perfectly good question. I think in the broad use of the word,
You work for the guy and you tell people they can or they cannot do something.
In a manner of speaking, though, well, with your permission, I said, in a broad context, yes, regulatory.
Do you have anything to do with the city government?
Yes.
Do you have anything to do with the recreation department of the city government?
No.
No.
That was the
3
broad.
down and 7 to go. Betty.
Do you, Miss Tesmer, have anything to do with traffic in any sense of the word?
Yes.
And you do not wear a uniform. And you work outdoors sometimes, you said.
No.
No, not
there
ever.
was-
You work
it was
indoors.
It was indoors, yeah.
Uh-huh. Well, do you have anything to do with traffic tickets in any sense?
Anything at all to do with traffic
Anything
tickets?
at all to do? I mean, do you get one occasionally or something? No.
No, I think since you closed down on that a bit, so we'll give you a no. That's 4 down and 6 to go.
Well, Miss Tesma, then do you have anything to do with the courts or the police in any way of the city of Milwaukee?
No.
No?
No.
That's a rough one, but I have to let it stand. That's 5 down and 5 to go, Miss
I
Francis.
know the mayor out there, Miss Tesma. You better be careful.
So do I.
Don't threaten our witnesses. Arlene?
Do you have anything whatsoever to do with fines?
No.
John is nodding and you're saying no.
Wait a
We're in
minute.
a lot of trouble
We gotta
with
have a
that.
conference.
You have that many conferences with Mr. Burnett.
No.
Any other time at all?
Actually, Miss Tesmer does not want to be too technical, so we'll agree that what we, would consider, certainly in our New York experience, as involving a fine would be an activity with which she'd have an association, yes.
Well, what I meant was if somebody has committed a misdemeanor and must pay a certain amount of money for that misdemeanor, would they pay it to whatever office Miss Tesmer is associated with?
You sound like John Daly.
Well, I'm learning.
Wow, I tell you, this is getting...
I just wanted to give them another chance for a conference.
Tell you what, I'm going to throw all the cards over and give you one wild guess. I think you're all playing close to it. What is it you had in mind?
Lawyer and works in a judge's office or something.
Well, you're close, Bennett, because I want you to meet municipal judge.
I was going to say a judge. Yeah.
No, actually, the problem we had was actually the fines are not paid to the judiciary. They're paid to the executive branch of the government, so that you find yourself tripping over
No, but
questions.
wouldn't Miss Tesmer wear a robe?
No, it's not the custom in misdemeanor courts in Wisconsin to wear a robe. She was elected to office as a municipal judge in St. Francis, which is just outside of Milwaukee.
How can a 16-year-old girl be a judge?
No, that Bennett. But the wonderful thing about it is, actually, Miss Tesmer is in her third year of law school at the University of Wisconsin and is already sitting on the bench. Now, that's what I call a brilliant start on what must be a...
That's Wisconsin for you.
Got to be a brilliant career.
Advanced placement, isn't it?
And, Your Honor, thank you very much. Thank you very much for getting this to us. We'll meet tonight's mystery guest in just a moment, but first, this message. Now the special feature of our program, the appearance of our mystery challenger, for which the panel, as you all know only too well, is always blindfolded. Are those blindfolds all in place, panel?
Yes, John.
Good. Will you enter mystery challenger and sign in, please? You will remember, panel, that in this case it's one question at a time in turn, moving clockwise, and we will begin things with Alan Ludden.
Well, from that gasp the audience just let out, that's got to be a lady. It is, thank you. Are you primarily known for your activities in the movies?
That's one down and 9 to go, Miss
What
White.
was that?
That was a no.
That was a no.
That was a no.
Are you better known for your work on the Broadway stage?
What was that?
I didn't hear anything.
Well, when you say better known than what? Better known than in the movies or principally known?
Principally known.
That's a no, too. That's 2 down and 8 to go, Mr. Cerf.
I ever heard.
Well, would your principal activities therefore take place in nightclubs?
That was a yes. Oh, that's very good, Bennett.
Sounded just like a no.
Well, I'll never get it from her voice, I'll say that.
Arlene?
Well, since you're saving your voice, is it that you usually sing? No?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
that was a yes. Oh, yes, that was a yes, Mr. Ludden.
You usually sing. Well, now, let me think. Who sings that softly? Who's the biggest voice singer I know? Ethel Merman. Are you Ethel Merman?
Nope, that's 3 down and 7 to go.
Yeah.
Betty.
Gee, that would have been swell, honey.
Yeah, but she's a Broadway singer and the best. All right.
Primarily in nightclubs, do you also have popular recordings?
Oh, yes, we do, too. Mr. Cerf?
I didn't get the answer to that.
That was a yes.
A yes? Do you usually do your singing alone rather than in a group? I can't hear one answer.
You say so. You say something this time. It's getting too tough. Change your voice.
Bark.
Oh, that was a yes. Arlene?
I don't know what the yes was to. Was so long coming out.
She sings alone.
She sings alone. Are you Lena Horne?
That's 4 down and 6 to go, Mr.
It's
Ludden.
not Lena Horne. Did you make an appearance in New York last spring around the prom season in a nightclub?
Yes.
What was that?
That was a yes.
That was a yes?
Yeah. Betty?
Are you known as well, beautiful singing, of course, that goes without saying, but also...
Her speaking's marvelous.
It's grand. Do you also dress the act? Do you wear fabulous dresses at the same time you perform?
I think I know what you're reaching for, and the answer would be yes, but don't be misled. Mr. Cerf.
Well, now I'm going to, if I may, narrow it down to 3 people. Are you either Ella Fitzgerald, Diane Carroll, or Pearl Bailey?
Yes.
Which one?
Oh, Bennett. Bennett, now you know who it is, Arlene.
Pearl Bailey.
The most wonderful thing is when they thought it was the softest, sweetest voice.
Well, she didn't dare talk. She couldn't talk.
I told him to put a paper bag over my head, but it wouldn't help.
No, the thing that tickled me is that when Pearl finally talked, she said, yes.
Yes.
I didn't think she could do
I
that.
thought that was you talking, John.
No, but that's the voice you really couldn't disguise. I don't think if she'd said anything more than that, that's the voice I would have recognized doing anything except that ridiculous thing she did, whatever it was.
Yes.
Well, it's big and rich and glorious and grand and has given so much pleasure, Pearl, and it's, I know that gives you much satisfaction, but we are in your debt because you have given so much pleasure. And thanks for having such a fine sense of humor, too. She was having more fun when you asked about the dresses. She got up and did a thing, you know, like you do at a fashion show.
It's the most frustrating thing when you can't...
You should have felt wonderful. Did you hear what that audience did when you walked out there?
Yes, I
That's
think
quite a
that's
thing.
what kept the voice going up. I wasn't going to lose.
What did you do when you walked out to make them do that?
Not a thing. Just
No,
stood there.
I tell you what I did. I came out, I hope with love. And it just... I hope it
Well,
went
they love
all
you.
over.
That'll do it every time. Well, you've done very well tonight, panel. So I congratulate you, and we'll all be back after this word. Mr. and Mrs. Ludden, nice to have had you with us, and you can take up the eyebrow or eyelash bit when you get home and have a lot of fun.
Thank you, John. We will.
Good night, Arlene Francis.
Good night, John. Good night and good luck, Alan.
Thank you, dear Arlene. Good night, Betty.
I'll see you later.
Yes, dear.
Good night, Bennett. Nice to be with you again.
Same to you, buddy. See you later, too, John. Good night.
Yeah, I'm afraid so. And thanks to all of you for being with us on What's My Line?
What's My Line is a CBS Television Network production in association with Mark Goodson and Bill Cotton. This is Johnny Olson speaking. Tonight's program was pre-recorded. What's My Line was brought to you by new Polident tablets. The powerful new denture cleanser tablets to keep your breath fresh, keep your smile bright and natural.